Hello, tall man with a red coat on. Good for nothing, baby, you are doing me wrong. Who you been loving since I've been gone? Who you been loving since I've been gone? Somebody saw you at the back of the day, dining in a dancing in a cabaret. He was long and tall, he had a plenty of cash, had a red Cadillac and a black moustache.
Hey there! It's nice to see you back. And by the way, it was a lot of fun to play this thing with tremolo. But think of how often have you found yourself, before a gig, going through the set list and thinking, red Cadillac and a black moustache. Okay, there are some chords and some arpeggios in the solo. Anyway, I will switch on the tremolo and figure it out. So now let's switch off the tremolo and figure out what exactly those chords and arpeggios are. And by the way, one more thing, promotion. This video will play after the ad. Look what I've got here. It's an album that we recently released with a Stuttgart-based band, the Lucky Rockets. I play guitar with the guys, also sing a few songs as well. And by the way, those are all original songs, as we don't do covers. Check it out at iTunes, Spotify, and other streaming services. Now, let's get back to those chords and arpeggios. And by the way, please like, subscribe, and click that bell down here so that you receive updates about new uploads on this channel. The chords are pretty simple, so it's D, then B minor, G, and finally A. But it's actually a finger-picking sound, so watch my right hand. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 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 So on 1, this thing, together with thumb and index, then 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It needs to mention Al Hopson, that's the name of the Warren Smith's guitar player. He's a little bit inconsistent with those things like thumb down strokes. For example, sometimes he plays it like this, other times like this. So sometimes it's more of the bass strings, sometimes less. Also that last chord on 4, it can be 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or it can be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when playing it, I keep in mind the way I would like it to be, but also I leave a room for imperfections, just like Al Hopson did. Then when moving to the refrain, there is this melodic line. Somebody saw you at the break of day, dining in a dancing in a cabaret. So as you can see, I'm doing this strange thing with my left hand. And that's the way how I achieve that muted sound, although I'm pretty sure it's incorrect. Consider palm muting with your right hand to see if you can do it better. And here we have just one single picking pattern that is going through all of the chords. First, G7, rest. Then D, rest. Rest. And then we have this chord. So the question is it E9 or B minor 6? It can be actually both, and in the end it is defined by the bass note. If you play it like this, having its bass note here, E, 5th string, 7th fret, it's definitely E9, but if you move it to B, 6th string, 7th fret, it becomes B minor 6. I will just sing the refrain along with the chords, so that we can hear how does it sound. First, with E9, somebody saw you at a very good day, dining in a dancing in a cabaret. He was looking tall, he had a plenty of cash. And now with B minor 6, somebody saw you at a very good day, dining in a dancing in a cabaret. He was looking tall, he had a plenty of cash. So the question is, what is correct? And in fact, both. If you recall the same song performed by Bob Luman, we will talk about it later. It is in a different key, first of all, but if it was in D, it would be E chord. However, on the Warren Smith's version, it sounds more like B minor to my ear. Now there is also a variation of the same that Al Hopson plays in the second refrain, and it goes like this. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, ba 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 ba, rest, ba 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 ba, rest, da da ba 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 ba, rest, da 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 da, rest, da 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 da. So, in fact, I was probably wrong with my interpretation of the first refrain that I played like this, using some left-hand muting. So first of all, here in the second verse, the chord shapes are somewhat different. The chords themselves are probably the same, like G and G7. Well, in the second verse it's the same as in the first, but then D is not here, but here, the very same chord, but just in a different position. Added one extra note to it. And then that E9, or was it actually B minor 6, that we played like this here, now it has been moved here. And obviously left-hand muting is not really doable with this kind of stuff, but nevertheless, let's play the solo. It's a finger-picking solo, however not exactly in the same way as Merle Travis would have played it. I would call it a stripped-down rockabilly version of Travis picking. Consider first this chord, a plain D, but I fret it without the note on 5th string, because I won't play it anyway, and now watch my right hand. I will count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. As you can see, there is no bass note on 3, and that's why I call it stripped down Travis picking. A normal non-stripped down version of the same could be probably like this. But again, the bass note on 3 is missing. And since you will ask me about that anyway, here is another example of Al Hopson using, I believe, the same technique. It's apparently the intro from Yubangi Stomp, and here is a slowed down version of its finger picking part. 1, 3 and 4. That's the first bar, and the second one goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But now let's get back to Red Cadillac and a Black Moustache, and here's the next bar using BM chord. Again, I'm skipping the note on 5th string, and the right hand part goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That low bass note on 2 makes it a little bit confusing, but nevertheless, the next bar, G chord, the very same chord shape, and the right hand part, it is a little bit different. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's everything thumb except that and 4. Now back to the left hand. Watch how I'm adding notes to the chord shape on beats 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now you know why I don't fret 5th string in this chord, just because I need my pinky to play this. And now the last bar, I mean the last of this first part, A chord. Right hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And left hand, I will be adding this G note on 2nd string, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now let's play the whole first part of the solo. Now the second part. First bar, the same D chord shape, this time with no extra notes, and the right hand's pattern is somewhat familiar. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next bar, B minor chord, and here we go. 1 and 2. Now to G chord. This time it doesn't have the bass, and I will be adding an extra note E on 2nd string, 5th fret. Watch the right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And the left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And finally moving to A, literally moving 2 frets up, the same chord shape, and we will be adding G note on 2nd string, plus we will be hearing the sound of open E string. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Well, and that's actually it. The whole second line of the solo goes like this. Now let's say a few words about the Bob Luman's version, which in fact is the original one. So what Warren Smith did was actually a cover. Bob Luman played it in the key of C, so the chords were C, A minor and so on, and the main riff played without any kind of finger picking, just in a conventional flat picking way, goes like this. And now finally the solo. As a little excuse, this video is about the Warren Smith's version, so I will just try to play the Bob Luman solo as I remember it. And that was it. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time soon. Bye!